5 of Help in the High Forest. Why, may I ask? Because I screwed up again. Yes, I did fly too close to the sun in my quest to add Sirenscape sounds to the game. While I did check I was recording sounds, I didn't check exactly what sounds I was recording. So the first half of the game is all background music and me seemingly talking to my imaginary friends. I assure you, Kim, Rach, and Grim all had things to say. They said things. Things were said. What did they say? Well, that's kind of fuzzy. I drank a couple of Manhattans while we were playing and had at least 4 moonshine cherries from my natural ones and their natural 20s. So, frankly, it's a miracle I remember the names of the characters involved. Whoop. Honestly, there's not a lot to talk about because this session was 90% combat. It's supposed to be a summary, so I'm gonna summarize something. I'll figure it out. Churn that butter. Get this boat on the road. The combat lasted 6 or 7 rounds, which is pretty exceptional, I think, because as far as I'm concerned, most don't last beyond like 3 rounds before it's pretty much decided, and anything beyond that is just cleanup or people dying. At one point, there were over 20 enemies, allies, and farm animals involved, so this one took a while. Twice as long as I really intended, but I mean, that's on me. This was the first
You in danger, girl.
combat that the party has had this campaign. Handling the bee stuff, ambushing the Malorite orcs, the little skirmish with Sean the Hermit and the lesser air elemental. The party was barely threatened or damaged by any of its conflicts. But this little run in, with a few goblins scurrying around the fringes of the camp during their night watch, wasn't as innocuous as it initially seemed. It started out pretty effortless, though. Yelena spots the goblins in the rocks to the north of camp and immediately drops one with a single arrow. Boom. Terel throws a javelin, splat! Doesn't drop a second goblin, but definitely bloodies him. And Kai freezes half of a third goblin's body. So they're in pretty good shape. Sprinkles, their new owlbear companion, she starts out a little shy. This is her first combat, and the excitement seemed to get to her. She failed to peck or claw anything at first, but hey, it's 6 goblins. I mean, like 4 1/4 goblins at this point, so no worries. Except toward the bottom of the round, Yelena gets a weird feeling. Her Spidey culty super ranger sense starts to tingle, and she sees a previously invisible cultist of the Black Earth grow apparent as he completes a ritual spell. The earth begins to shake, and everybody fails their dexterity saving throw. Like, everybody! They're all knocked prone. What's more, the pet rock tucked away in Yelena's pocket, it awakens. It was really a dormant baby earth elemental the whole time, and the priest ritual has just woken it. And what happens when you jerk a sweetly sleeping baby awake, be it animal, mineral, or elemental? They cry. They're upset. They're mad. And it's not just the one in Yelena's rock pocket. There's at least half a dozen between the pet rocks people in the caravan are carrying and the ones the goblins were planting in the outcropping when they were discovered. Initially, it was kind of hard for the party to take these baby earth elementals as a serious threat. Actually, I'm not sure Yelena ever felt threatened by the little angry rocks trying to smash her to death. It was more like exasperation and bemusement on her part, except for that little oh no moment when it burst out of her pocket like a xenomorph from a chest cavity and it damaged her really cool green vest. I mean, that's a deep wound for Yelena. Break her legs, whatever, but please respect the green vest. It's so cool. Don't rip the pockets. They're so useful. That is how you know these rocks were evil. So, the baby elementals, I call them rocklings, are kind of mindlessly attacking anything that's not an ally, be it living or inanimate. So, a tree and a few tents get damaged. In addition to the tents, There were a few collateral targets in the camp in addition to the party. Three commoner types traveling temporarily with a caravan, ostensibly to be safer on their journeys home. The NPCs Daisy Brownbank and Charmandy Little were also in the fray. They were two of the skilled workers traveling to Parnast from Rouge Fair, a carpenter and a brewer slash weaver. Daisy was injured, but they both put up a fight and held their own more than the other frightened villagers. There was also a goat and two chickens, just 'cause. I mean, there's a lot of livestock with a caravan. Even though I said that they were on the southern side of camp and Terry and Noodles Fabian are, herding them with their professional herding skills, and all of Lord Jomont's mercenaries are supposed to be there kind of helping out. Some chaos is inevitable when you have those many animals hanging around. Sheep gonna stray, chicken's gonna chick. Worst case scenario, there's gonna be mutton chops for breakfast. But I just wanted them around the camp to get in the way and beat chickens and a goat. Wait, I said mutton. Mutton's not goats. Mutton's sheep. What is goat meat? Goat meat? Hmm. Anyway, that's not important. Back to the story. Um, all in all, the party felt pretty in control of the situation until round two, when the Black Earth Priest slammed Terel with an erupting earth spell for 32 damage in one blow. She did not enjoy that. That was harsh. It was a big owie. As a DM, I was a little because the spell should have done 18 damage on average when Terrell failed her save. I rolled really well on that damage. It was like 3d12 and I rolled two 12s. And for a second I was kind of scared that I squished her. It was a little early in the combat for death saves, so I was relieved Terrell has a reasonable buttload of hit points. It was like, whew, this combat isn't completely imbalanced. Yay! Terrell and Yelena immediately devoted their efforts towards curb stomping the Black Earth Priest before he had a chance to erupt Earth in anyone's face again, or on anyone's buttload of hit points. Take your pick. Terrell activated her serpent staff for the first time, transforming it into a giant poisonous snake that did her dark work for her, chomping and dealing a chunk of poison damage right into the priest's ankle, kneecap, big toe, something snake height. Yelena followed up with one of her poison arrows. I think she rolled a natural 20 at this point. Like right in the heart. Dropped him like a rock. So the Black Earth priest died the way he lived. Probably happy, if a little surprised. Like a rock. Like a rock. Oh, like a rock. The party was hoping that killing the priest would put all of the rocklings out of action, but no such luck. The priest's ritual had merely disturbed the earth to awaken these baby earth elementals. The magic didn't actually conjure them or create them. This was the start of the War of Attrition. I think there are 7 rocklings, maybe 8 goblins in total. Some more goblins were felled. Some ran off once the priest was killed. One failed to steal a chicken on his way out, but the real problem was the rocklings. They had some damage resistance and way more hit points than a goblin, though still not as many hit points as a Terrell. They also had multi attack, so they gradually pounded people and tents to a pulp. By round 2, both Lord Jomont and Ragnar Redtooth were awake, and they joined the fray. Jomont, however, made a rookie mistake. He'd taken off his plate armor before bedtime, so he was pretty squishy running around with a great sword trying to defend people with his only shield being privilege. It did not protect him in this instance. But he did roll successfully to pull aggro away from villagers under threat at one point, so I think that was his peak moment in the combat in terms of what he sees as his responsibility. I mean, he tried. Ragnar did okay. He's a fighter like Jomont, but is revealed he is a two-weapon fighter. He hit half the time, but he was a little hampered by his mundane weapons and my damage rolls. So he didn't always break through the damage resistance on those rocklings. I mean, it's stabbing rocks, okay? It's not like butter.
Talk amongst yourselves.
By round three, Sprinkles started to come into her own, especially where clawing things is concerned. I think she dusted two rocklings. Or maybe Kai did that and Sprinkles helped a lot. At the same time, Kai had started using acid spells on everything, specifically Melf's acid arrow, to which the Rocklings did prove vulnerable. So it might as it probably is just as likely that it was like Kai who actually dusted everything, and Sprinkles just kind of softened the rocks up a bit or something. I don't know. Figure it out. Acid claws killed things. Rocks killed rocks. Acid claws killing rocks. At this point, Lady Belliphauna comes running back into the camp and joined the fight. Just like in the fracas with Sean the Hermit, she has another natural 20 with her slingshot. Unbelievable. Given her bullet slinging capabilities, this girl's probably good at cornhole and skee ball too. Lady B doesn't shirk. She's running, 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 slinging rocks. She's gonna save all those villagers with one hit point. By round four, people started falling unconscious. First, a villager Ragnar was trying to protect. She's unconscious by the campfire. Yelena and Terel are feeling pretty skint on health, and Jomont has taken a lot of hits, and half of the other village people are barely standing. Kai, Ragnar, and Sprinkles, I think they were all in pretty good shape. Everybody had some bruises and scrapes, and a lot of people were one or two hits away from a dirt sandwich. Ooh, new interjection. The other thing, and this wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just there was one point, a little bit more than halfway through the combat, where I think I accidentally let on that there were some secret mud mephits or dust mephits hidden on the combat field in the combat tracker. And Grim called me out on them, and I immediately proceeded to kind of gaslight that, oh, pay no attention to anything that you might have accidentally seen. There are no mephits here, when in fact there were like mephits in the combat tracker. Because this combat, I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go. So I did have some mephits on deck just in case the combat looked like it was going to be too effortless or easy. And that didn't prove to be the case. So the mephits were not going to be brought out, but I did accidentally flash that they were up there. It's just like, pay no attention to what's behind the curtain. Pay no attention. So Yelena is fed up. Maybe it's the torn pocket on her really cool green vest. Maybe it's the cult activity. Maybe it's internal hemorrhaging. She's done with these little pet rock assholes unleashing blunt force trauma and their stupid little rock faces. She decides to just try and pick one up and yeet it off the battlefield. And she does. Baby Earth Elemental, yeeted. Belliphauna copies her example. Second Elemental, yeeted. Ragnar follows suit. A third rockling, yeeted. Kai and Sprinkles, they don't bother with yeeting. They claw and corrode their enemies the old fashioned way. You know, dust, dust, burble, burble, gurgle. I think we're down to the last elemental at this point. One that hasn't done anything except destroy Bellifauna's brand new tent. Jomont moves into position like he intends to join Club Yeet the next chance he gets, but the Rockling gets to attack first. And Lord Jomont Shieldbearer, he's now unconscious, making death saves. Y'all, he tried. He tried. It takes a couple more rounds to wrangle the last rock because the party members are on the other side of the battlefield, camp, whatever. They're far away. But eventually, yeeted!
Oh, you throw a rock out here, you hit a low key.
There's some healing going on too. Terel is laying on hands. And with the power of Maliki, and with the small shower of leaves and the smell of pine that come with it, she gives herself 5 hit points back. She also lays hands on Yelena for 10. Now, Terel's enjoyed watching Lord Jomont get his ass handed to him in this combat.
We should do something.
Looking strong, John.
She loves to see it because she doesn't trust him as far as she can throw him. Because history. Still, she's not willing to let him die. Yet. So she offers to heal the Lord of Oakshield too. The near dead villager, also alive. Nobody died. Nobody died. People went unconscious, but nobody died.
Everybody lives!
Yelena observes that the yeeted rocks, with no stimuli and only the cradle of earth to occupy them, they grow still, falling back to sleep, dormant baby elementals once more. There's a moment to pause and regroup at the caravan camp. The party searches the bodies of the slain goblins and the Black Earth priest. They find a couple gems and a Black Earth idol, which I think Terrell buried. They also find a map and a letter on the priest. The map is of the local area with 4 towns circled in red: Succumber, Ulavan, Side Lake, and Rougefair. 2 of the towns are marked with an X: Succumber and Ulavan, like they've been checked off a list. The letter to the priest reads: Our coffers contain dust. If we are to contribute to this venture of glass, suggest risking riches in Succumber, where it travels that the wizard is dead. This letter is signed with a paw mark and an unfamiliar symbol. The party picks up very quickly that this new mark appears to incorporate elements of the symbol of the Black Earth that was etched on the baby Earth elementals. They also suspect, and I think it was Yelena who rolled this insight, that the letter was written by Russell, the tiefling, not the tiefling, the tabaxi, who was giving out the pet rocks at the Honey Fest. They show the letter to Ragnar, Belliphauna, and Jomont to get their opinion. The symbol also strikes a chord with Jomont. In his case, the memory of when he was a squire to Lord Ulrath Silmerhelv. 5 years prior, when the cults of elemental evil were reigning terror across the savage frontier, the cults of the Eternal Flame had detonated some kind of explosive device in the town of Westbridge. This resulted in death, destruction, and raging fires that ravaged the town. Jomont tells the party that he sees elements of the cult of Eternal Flame's mark in this new symbol and draws it out for them in the dirt. The party is, oh my, it's a culty tag team. The Black Earth and Eternal Flame are doing weird stuff together. There is some concern. Belliphauna, for her part, wonders if the dead wizard referenced in the letter is the potential customer she had interest in buying the wyvern egg. She doesn't mention wyverns at all because Jomont is there. He's clueless. He's the only one who doesn't know about the secret wyvern stuff in this conversation. I mean, nobody trusts Joey. Nobody. Tough break, my noble dude. Oh, that reminds me. I need to check my notes. How many wyvern eggs were there? I think there were 2, but they got one back during the skirmish with Sean the Hermit. I think he got away with one. I really need to double check that. Anyway, Belliphauna says the wizard she had correspondence with, who lived in Succumber, was named Emilior Amanitas. Well respected, powerful, eccentric, and very old. She's all like, I wonder if he's the dead wizard. It's probably good I didn't try to make a deal with him. If he's dead, ah. I think that's about it. I was getting ready to have Jomon ask a question, but Grimm's computer blue screened, so we just ended the session there, and I gave everybody a long rest because they earned it. So the next session, I think we're just going to pick up at breakfast the next morning. Join us for the next session of Help in the High Forest, which will theoretically stream on the Bonnie View Twitch channel, Saturday, September 17th, from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's pray to Maliki that I don't mess up the sound or the visuals, and maybe, just maybe, the party will make it to Succumber. I'll try to be physically, if not emotionally, prepared.